Good morning and welcome to the market forecast. It is Monday already, April the 26th. I'm John Hoagland. As always, thanks for trusting me with your time. As always, we're going to be hoping for you accurate context, good risk management, and of course, as always, exercise a bit of patience. I always have to on Mondays, typically not my best trading days. Hopefully, you are off to a good start. We're all still very excited about Coach T. Hopefully, you've all had the opportunity to check that out on your dashboards and are able to take advantage of that. That is our goal here: is your success. As always, checking the economic numbers this morning at 7:30 this morning. The durable goods numbers came out. The core number came out as expected. Month over month, a little bit disappointing. However, it doesn't seem to be affecting the markets negatively at all, at least early in the session. As far as news is concerned, the U.S. equity futures set to open steady, maybe a little higher, before we do have a very busy week of earnings and economic data. Tesla earnings due out today after the close. And there's some looming tax changes in the wings here. Just to kind of go over the economic data this week. Of course, durable goods already out. Tomorrow we have Case-Shiller home pricing, FHFA home pricing, consumer confidence. That's going to be at 9 o'clock tomorrow. And also the FOMC meeting begins tomorrow. The FOMC meeting will continue through Wednesday, 7:30 Central. International trade in goods, retail inventories, wholesale inventories. Of course, the EIA petroleum status report 9:30 on Wednesday, and then we'll of course be all waiting for the FOMC announcement at 1 o'clock and the Fed chair presser at 2:30. Thursday, GDP numbers due out. Jobless claims, as always. Pending home sales, nat gas report due out. We start with a couple of talking Feds on Thursday. And then Friday, we have personal income and outlays, Chicago PMI, and consumer sentiment. So lots of data due out all week. Grain prices strong as planting is delayed due to some cold weather, possibly reducing yields at the end of the season here. India's COVID infections worsen, helping keep crude prices lower. As far as today's earnings, before the open, we had just a couple of notables, Lennox and First Bank Corp. After the close today, Tesla due to come out with their earnings. Tomorrow, Microsoft, Google, Visa. Wednesday, Apple, Facebook. Thursday, Amazon. All out this week. So it's going to be a busy week in earnings. Looking at the list on Wednesday, it's gargantuan. There's going to be a lot to digest in earnings this week. As usual, VIX up a little bit this morning, 1798 last I checked, up about 3.7%. Dollar index continues to slide off recent highs, 98.89. And the 10-year yield, a little bit of an uptick in yields, up at 1.577 this morning. And as always, I ask that you like, share, comment, question, feedback, and heckling are, of course, always welcome. Subscribe to our YouTube channel when we do go live. I'm going to put the link in for group coaching this Wednesday, always one of the highlights of the week for me. I'm going to say good morning to everybody. Murph, good morning. Brian, Ednelson, James, Taurus, Bill, good morning. Taurus Trader, give the man John those thumbs up. Hey, you know what? The only thing I'm looking for is I love to hear the stories of your success. That's what makes this so great for me, is seeing you guys succeeding. Vince, good morning. Will, good morning. Felix, Dandy. That's very nice of you to say, Dan D, but I don't think that I want that job. I don't know that that's a good place for me. I appreciate it, though. Subconscious. Caesar, good morning, my brother Rick. I love you, brother. Theo, good morning. Richie, Vince, missed the early move in gold this morning. We're going to talk about that on the charts. May have missed our best trade location of the day together, but that's okay. It's okay. There'll be more opportunities coming down the pipe. You can be assured of that. Second guessing yourself It's always difficult to be able to tell what's a real intuition, what's a knowledge and experience based decision, and what's an impulse, what's a fear and emotionally based decision. Keep at it, Vince. We will get this figured out. Laura, good morning. Mike, good morning. Lamus, good morning. Level 2 trading research. Jason, France, Tim, called it Coach J. Well, I lobbied for that, but they decided on Coach T for Top Step. That's okay. I'm hoping that it's going to help everybody. Oleg, Rob, JD, good to see you. Shady Trader, Michael H, Jacob, Kings, Patrick, Andre, and Greg. I appreciate you too, Greg. Thank you very much. Very nice of you to say. All right. So, after having weeks of solid charts, this morning they've decided to mess with me. So, let me get them back up here real quick and we'll get through this and see what we've got on the charts. I don't know why it does this from time to time. It just likes to mess with me, apparently. All right, we are on. Let's go to the charts. Check this out. All right, as always, starting in the daily and crude. Really a pretty deep move down below that trend line. That trend line is going to be somewhat pivotal for us today. Lower volume and lowering open interest for the last couple of weeks. Now, we just got through rollover, and we're seeing volume dropping in the front month. Not necessarily good for any expected bigger moves, especially with lower open interest. Now, Friday, we added 8,100 in open interest. So a little bit of conflicting information there. Fourth day, really kind of range bound, testing this this trend line 1, 2, 3, 4, testing down below it, not necessarily accepting. It's going to be interesting to see what happened on the open. This lower trend line was supportive last night. We've taken a little bit of a look down below that. If we accept down below that, I'll look for a move down to weekly kickoff low, which is 60.25, weekly kickoff high, 64. And again, kind of fourth day in the current area of balance that we are in. Now to look at the 30-minute chart. There's that trend line. We just took a pretty good look below it right off the opening here, actually finding some excess. Our last week's lows are going to be important for us as well as this trend line. We've opened with a little bit of a gap. Look at settlements all the way up here. We've got a lot of weaker hands shorts in this market right now. If we can't close the gap, I'll look for continuation to the downside. But a gap close may mean that we're going to go back up and retest higher prices here. So I'm unable to see where the opening range is. I'm guessing it's neither the high nor the low of the range of the session for today. Pretty volatile open here. Pretty deep dive, showing some excess or rejection down at that area. I'd say it's a probably good probability that we're going to go up and retest or at least close the gap. If we can't close the gap, we're looking for opportunities for shorts. S&Ps. Okay, we've still got the charts. Here's the daily. Good morning, Ram, Colin, and Ashton. Okay, here's the daily. Another all-time high on Friday in regular trading hours. That's a good thing. Lower open interest at the all-time high. We lost 13,000 in open interest. Does that tell us that finally we've got a little bit of short covering coming in here on Friday? I'm sure a lot of folks were looking for some long liquidation, but we've spent some time kind of consolidating here, and that's going to help us even out inventory. The short covering or new longs, weaker hands buyers up here. Weaker hands as we did not increase open interest. That's going to be important to know as we go moving along here. We've had about a 5% increase in open interest since rollover, since back in March. So overall, we've been adding open interest, losing 13,000 yesterday. There's so much economic data and earnings due this week. Don't forget about the potential tax changes on the horizon. I think that while there is a lot of potential explosive news coming out this week, I think it might end up being more of a hurry up and wait type of situation. Take a look here. Here's our range from last night. We're going to open here shortly. Where are we? Just on the 30-minute chart here. Here's that move to the upside. We did get a little bit of, probably very short time frame long liquidation, which puts settlement, and there go the charts. I am sorry about this. I'll get them back up here real quick. And we are initializing, and we are good. Okay, settlement. Where's settlement? 41.7150. Where are we now? We have not moved very far from settlement. We are still inside the value area, which was a kind of a directional value area. It wasn't by any stretch showing any kind of balance on the move up, but then even by the close of the day, we started to build this bell curve here. So I'm going to try and stay patient. There's no overnight positioning. We're inside value. Again, this is one of the things that's saying, take it easy in the equities, at least early this week or early today, because we have very little change in the perception of value. With the amount of information due out this week, it would make sense for longer term, medium time frame speculators, long term hedgers, really just to kind of be looking for a way to protect themselves against any major moves that may or may not happen. We don't know. There's so much information due out. A lot of folks are going to be waiting for that. Boom, boom, out go the lights. Nah, it's not going to be bad luck. We don't have bad luck. We're all good risk managers. Michael H. saying, he thinks that chart is screaming to go higher. And as long as we have the doubters out there, the people that are still willing to short into this big move to the upside, I think you're right. It's when we've all bought into it and we're all, okay, we're going to go higher, then that's when that's going to end. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq here briefly. Nasdaq, same but different. All-time high remains back here, and it was in the overnight session. So the markets don't tend to leave those in overnight sessions. All-time and recent highs and lows tend to be put in during regular trading hours when all the participants are available. Friday's move to the upside, we lost 3,900 in open interest, very similar to the S&Ps, indicating maybe some weak money coming into longs and some short covering coming in. And we are in basically almost the 10th day of this area of balance here. Now remember, everybody's looking for a pullback. Everybody's looking to catch the big next move to the downside. And we've been spending a lot of time consolidating right below right below all-time highs. What are we looking for? Well, this is going to do a lot to even out inventory. If we got too long, if we don't pull back and we just consolidate here for a while, that's going to even out those inventories and even make it more probable for us to continue this move to the upside. After all, the equities have been eating shorts, if you will, for 40 years. 10th day in balance. What's the 30 look like? Settlement, 13,927 even. Again, an emotional upside move on Friday. No real, kind of volume area of balance here, but value high and value low right here. Value low, 13,855. Value high, 13,980. Settlement again, 13,927. Where are we? Well, we don't have any overnight inventory. We're right near settlement. We're not really looking at a market that has changed value much at all. So I'm going to try and stay patient. Again, always staying patient. Better trade locations do tend to come when the market opens in range and in value. In range and in value. So with no gap, in range, close to settlement, stay patient. Better trade locations will come to you as the day goes on. And when I say they will come to you, they will. If you go looking for trades in a range-bound market, you're going to find them. Focus, ladies and gentlemen, on the extremes. And there go the charts again. All right, here we go. Once I get this fixed and it goes good for about a 3 week period, and then all of a sudden, bang. Oops, no, that's not what I want. I want this. All right, we'll get through it on this time. All right, gold. Upside structure still remains, but it's a little bit at risk. It is a little bit at risk of starting to crack. I mean, we've got a pretty decent upside move. Touch points. Volume remains. Open interest higher on a down day on Friday. Okay, we added 1,800 in open interest. Maybe some naysayers to the upside coming in here and putting bets on to the short side. Almost looking a little bit like a head and shoulders, maybe a little bit. 30-minute chart. I was going to be noticing or saying that our low from Friday was going to be critical. We left the opening range initially at the high of the session. We looked down below. We have some excess down here. We've rejected we've rejected below Friday's low, and we've pushed all the way back up towards settlement. Did we get a little bit too short here in short time frame? Perhaps we did. Friday's low, I was saying, was pivotal. A little bit late for that information. We should have done this at 6:30 this morning. And right back to balance. Right back to the middle. Stay patient. Better trade locations are still probably yet to come. If we've missed this opportunity off this rejection down here, just be patient. Another opportunity's coming. Always be thinking about that, especially on Mondays. For me, not typically the best trading days. All right, let's take a quick look at the euro and the 10-year, and we'll get down to business. Okay, so strong open interest boost, and this gray line here is a previous weekly kickoff level that I've left on here for a reason. I would say it is. I had a feeling it was going to be an important level at some point in the future. So a strong open interest boost. We added 7,400 preliminary number. It's an estimate, but that's a pretty good push to the upside. Volume wasn't all that great, but I'm liking the idea that we did push some open interest to the upside. 2090 supportive in the overnight, currently being tested. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. There's some conflicting information here. We have a market that has put up a head and shoulders. The termination for this move is right about down here. If you take the distance between the bottom of the neckline to the top of the head, go from the bottom of the neckline, you measure that distance, this would be a good termination if this is going to present as a successful head and shoulders. The other part of this is we've got a bit of a late spike here that happened on Friday. This push to the upside and the close right at the high is showing signs of acceptance. One of the things we're looking for as support in this is the base of the late spike, which I've got kind of marked here in this box, which is, let's call it 120.88. We got 2 ticks below it. It doesn't say that this market has to stop going lower. If we do continue down there, a good termination of this move would be down to that measured move off of the head and shoulders. But again, looking at the daily, is this a market that we're still looking to buy weakness? I would say yes. I mean, we've got a pretty decent upside move going here. Overall volume is maintaining. So you'd seen a nice uptick in open interest. I'm still looking at this as a market that I want to be patient and have the opportunity to buy weakness. This would be one spot. This could be another spot. There's lots of areas and places to look for entries. There goes the charts. I was going to get through this. And here we go. We are initializing, and we're back. We're going to get through this. So again, just an interesting spot here. I'm going to try and stay patient. I'm going to look for my best trade location first, which might be down here or value low from Friday. And for the 10-year, Okay, this is last week's weekly kickoff high. We've had some considerable play, so I've kind of graded out. We've got a higher weekly kickoff high, 133 and 1730 seconds. We've seen a little bit of an uptick in rates this morning, just slight, but still that's pushed the market back to the downside. It is, again, possibly at risk of breaking this medium time frame upside structure here. If we were to take out this low by much, I would think that would be an alert or an alarm that would have some of our longs looking to liquidate. That overnight low and this 50 session exponential moving average, this is JD's level. These are JD's lines. Moving averages found support there early on in the session last night. Let's take a look at the 30. We'll get down to business. Okay, here's our move. This was our overnight low. Okay, moving back into value and range. We got a little bit too short overnight. We opened with a gap. We closed the gap. We're no longer looking for shorts unless we can get really good trade location, perhaps somewhere up near last week's weekly kickoff high. All right. So, again, it is Monday. Yes, we've had some technical difficulties. Lacey's just laying in the sunshine over in the kitchen. She went to with my son to visit some friends away at school, so I know she was partying hard this weekend, and she's a little bit tired this morning. So I don't think she's up for doing too much. Again, weekly group coaching Wednesday. I can dump the link back in one more time. Always looking forward to those. Hopefully you find them useful. Again, this is all about helping you find your success. Looking forward to an interesting trading week this week. Remember, there's a lot of data due out. There's a lot of earnings. There's a lot to do. So give yourself some time to prepare. Put together a few hypotheses as to what you might be thinking is going to happen in your market. When one of them begins to come true, trade to that strategy, trade to that market state. Always looking forward to your success. I'm going to take my deep breath now. I hope that you do join me. It always feels good. Stay humble, grateful, and creative in your trading today. Say a prayer for world peace. Be good to each other. Be kind. Trade well. Get out there and profit today. And we'll see you for market recap. I'm sure Dan is going to be excited to see everybody for market recap. We'll look forward to seeing you then. Trade well.